Hi everybody and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about blue vervain. So we're going to be talking about one of my absolute favorite herbs to work with, and this is blue vervain. The botanical name is Verbena hastata, and I'll show you how to identify it. It has a pretty unique appearance to it. One of the best identifying characteristics, or at least helps narrow things down for you, is the fact that it has a square stem. The leaves are also opposite each other, as you can see, and they are toothed. But mostly you're going to be looking at these absolutely beautiful flowers, and this is the perfect time to harvest this plant for making medicines. I take anywhere from the top 25 to 35% of the plant for making tinctures, and I also really love using this in herbal infused oils. And we'll talk about the properties and I'll tell you why. Verbena hastata is a fantastic nervine, so it's an antidepressant. It's going to help with things like anxiety. Just like most general nervines, it's great for stress-related conditions, but it also has a property that I've talked about before known as neurovasodilator. And that's a fancy way of saying it helps to increase blood flow to the brain. So this makes it really great for memory formulas, poor concentration, mental fatigue, those types of things as well. Because of its nervine properties, I really love infusing it in oil, and I combine it with St. John's wort oil, and I use that as my moisturizer in the winter. And I just find that it really helps to get me through those kind of long, dark, cold months. It's also quite bitter. And that makes it a fantastic digestive ally as well. And because of its bitter component, I really like to use it in formulations, digestive formulations, for people who do have that nervine component. Say someone who's depressed or suffers from anxiety, this makes an excellent ally to go with. But that's not all that this plant boasts. It is also a really good detoxifying herb, and it helps to support the liver. The term we use is cholagogue, and it also helps to support the urinary tract system because it's a great diuretic. And it's an anti-rheumatic, so it's going to be good for any rheumatoid or rheumatic type conditions. It's also a hypotensive, so it'll help to regulate blood pressure. It's a tonic emmenagogue as well, so that means it's going to help to tone. The term tonic means that it's not really forceful, it's not stimulating, it's not going to push the body in one way, shape, or form. So it's going to help support the hormones of the female reproductive system. And what surprises a lot of people with this plant, because a lot of people use it for its nervine properties, one of the things that they find surprising is that it's also an antiviral and a pretty decent little expectorant too, in this case helping to loosen mucus production and making it easier to expel. So this is going to be really great for, upper respiratory conditions, cold, flu, bronchitis, those types of things as well. So, I love talking about this plant because its versatility really amazes me and amazes a lot of people. I could go on and on. I'll talk a little bit about its safety profile. In general, it's an incredibly safe plant. There really isn't a lot of toxicity associated with blue vervain or Verbena hastata because of its detoxifying properties. And I've talked about this before as well. You want to be really, really careful using it during times when we shouldn't be detoxifying, such as pregnancy, lactation. We don't want to use it on really young children or people who are, say, chronically ill or a loss of vitality. Because it does have some hypotensive properties, meaning that it's going to help with the cardiovascular system, we don't want to combine it with any medications that also influence the cardiovascular system. And because it does have those nervine properties I talked to you about, antidepressant, anxiolytic, we have to be very cautious when folks are on medications for those same reasons. So whenever you're on meds of any kind, it's always wise to seek help from a qualified herbal practitioner, clinically trained, who can navigate those waters for you, because we don't want to cause any potential interactions with people. So I'll get my husband to take another close look at this beautiful plant. Like I said, this is the perfect time to harvest it. Again, top 25 to 35%. So this is blue vervain, or Verbena hastata. So thank you again for joining me on these videos. I really appreciate all the support that I've been given. And I'm going to continue to talk about these lesser known plants. Most of these are volunteers in our vegetable garden. You can actually take a look. They just showed up. We didn't plant them here. And actually here, this is perfect. We can show you some baby ones down here. So you might, if you've got really good soil and you start seeing these pop up, maybe you want to keep them in your garden. And there's also something to the idea that if a plant suddenly starts to grow in and around where you live, to pay attention to that chances are someone in your family or you need the medicine that this plant is providing. So thank you again for watching. If you're enjoying my content, I would appreciate you subscribing, following me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all that jazz. And until next time, this is Corinne from Spiraea Herbs saying be well and enjoy your summer months.